That is, what do you understand by business communication? So, what topic we will discuss today? That is communication, meaning, business communication, definition, importance, process, types, mass communication, and model. So, one by one, we will discuss everything. What is a communication? So, what is a communication? Communication, in simple word, we can say when we are talking from one person to the another person. That terms to be the communication. Communication means interact between two or more persons than two people for exchanging information. What is a business communication? Today we will learn what is a business communication. Business communication occurs between two or more parties. Exchange business related information. So as we all know, communication have various types. Like we can exchange the thoughts by spoken words or by the body language. So further we will discuss about that as well. Business communication, the act of conveying or exchanging information and ideas. This activity or a process of exchanging ideas, feelings, emotion, experience between two or more persons act or insect of transmitting terms to be the communication. Now, what is a business communication? As we discussed, administrative communication is a process which involves transmission and accurate replication of ideas ensured by feedback for the purpose of action, which will accomplish organizational goal. The sender ability to transmit his own ideas. The receiver mental ability to get the same idea as were transmitted. That is accurate replication. Next, the feedback or the receiver response act which will help to receive a desirable goal. So, as we have discussed, what is our business communication? So, business communication basically means sharing of information between people within the organization. That terms to be the business communication. Now, what next? What next topic we will cover? The importance of business communication. What are the importance? First, the new global and diverse workplace require excellent spoken and written skills. In professional world communication are related skills decide a person career curve better the communication skills. It also helps to share the information from one person to the another person. Whereas our other types of importance is exchanging information, preparing plans and policies, achieving goals, increasing employee efficiency, solving problems, improving industrial relationship, exchanging employee satisfaction. Let's discuss one by one what are the importance. Exchange information. Exchanging information between two or more parties with internal and external parties bring dynamics in organizational activities and help in attaining goals. Next is preparing plans and policies. Help in preparing organizational plans and policies, develop realistic plans and policies, collect information from reliable sources. Next importance is to achieve any goal. Help employees to be more curious and attentive. Ensure timely accomplished of job. Ensure easy achievement of goals. Next important is increasing employees' efficiency. It helps to increase the efficiency of employees, organizational objective, plans, policies, and rule make employees more effective. Organizational or objective, plan, policies, and rules destructives make employee more effective. Next comes to the solving problem. Through various communication channels, taking necessarily steps to solve the problem. The managers can be informed of various routines and non-time problem of the organization. Next importance is publicity of goods and services. The organization that communicate better can also sell better. It increases the publicity of goods. It helps to provide better services. Next importance is removing controversies. Effective communication allows smooth flow of information. It resolves conflicts, conflicts and controversies and the disagreement. Next importance is enhancing employee satisfaction. If there is free and fair flow of information in the organization, it will critically bring mutual understanding between management and workers. Effective communication enhance the satisfaction of employees. Now, next importance is enhancing loyalty. Effective communication helps the manager to be aware of the performance of their subordinate. It will enhance employees' loyalty. Now, next comes to the topic that is process of communication. What is a process of communication? Process of communication simply means how we communicate with the other person. It involves sender, receivers, channels, encoding, decoding, feedback, and so on. So let's discuss one by one what is our communication process. The systematic process in which each individual interact with a thought, symbol to create and interpret meaning in a particular context. The communication process refers to the steps and elements involved in the successful transmission and understanding of a message between sender and receiver. It could includes the exchange of information, ideas, opinions, or emotion through various channels or medium. The communication process is cyclically, meaning it involves continuous feedback and adjustment. Effective communication requires clarity, relevance, active listening, and consideration of the needs and perspective of both the sender and the receiver. By understanding and utilizing the communication process involves an organization can enhance their ability to convey message, build relationship, and achieve their common goals. So here in the process, you can see there is a source person who is a sender, then encoding, then message, decoding, receive, and feedback. Now, one by one, let's discuss who is the sender. So simply, sender is a input person. The communication process involves a relationship between senders and receivers. It requires both parties to participate actively and engage in the exchange of message. Next comes to noise. The communication process can be influenced by noise, where refers to any barriers, which refers to any of the barrier while communicating with each other. So next comes to the channel part. The sender transmits the message through a channel. Channel may be any form. For example, instant message, face-to-face conversation, and so on. Now, next comes to the receiver. Receiver is a person who will receive the message through the channel to the who complete the communication process by assigning meanings to the message known as decoding. Next comes to the feedback. This is a critical component in communication process as it ensures a message was properly received by the other person. Next comes to the types of communication. So there are various types of business communication like one-way or two-way communication, verbal communication and oral communication, upward communication, downwards communication, interpersonal and organizational communication. And last is your mass communication. Let's discuss one by one what do you understand by these types of communication. Now, first is your one-way communication. What are one-way communication means? One-way communication means that when the communication done with one direction, only from the sender to the receiver. There is no opportunity to give feedback to the sender. This reports on television, recorded musics on the CDs, newspaper, and so on. Next communication is two-way communication. Two-way communication involves between two parties. One is a person who sends the information and second person who will give the feedback. Two-way communication has also been referred to as a interpersonal communication. Let's take the example of two-way communication like instant message, telephone conversation, classroom, and so on. Now, next is your verbal communication. I hope both type of communication, one way and two way, is clear to you. Let's discuss the another type of communication, that is the verbal communication. So by the verbal communication is any form of communication that occurs through spoken words. Its key strength is that it tends to be prescribed as trusted form of communication. Let's take an example. People often want to talk to or hear from a real human. When making an expensive purchase or big decision in their lives, while face-to-face verbal communication also has the benefit of allowing for two-way dialogues between in our current area. Verbal communication can also be one way, such as through podcast or videos. Verbal communication are terms to be the oral communication, where we use spoken words to share our information to the another person. Let's take the example of verbal communication. For example, conversation is speaking with others in person, over the phone, or through video conference. Next, presentation. Delivering a speech, lectures, video conference, or other formal talks to an audience. Next is your written communication. Communication through letters, emails, MOM, text message, or other writing form of communication. Next example is your face-to-face interview. Asking question posed by a potential employer in a face-to-face interview context. And last is your video and podcast. Video and podcast media generally also contain verbal communication. As a person telling a story or a recording of conversation between the characters. So these all are the examples of verbal communication. Now, next comes to the non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication refers to any form of communication that is not transmitted through spoken words. It can include body language, facial expressions, gestures, postures, passive communication strategies, and even what you wear, which can send signals about your cleanliness, social class, etc. But under this banner, we also have other types of communication listed below. Let's discuss it one by one. It includes written and visual communication. Generally, however, when referring to non-verbal communication, we tend to be talking about body language clues. We can communicate and receive a lot of important information through non-verbal clues. This is why face-to-face communication, where you can see facial expression, leads to far less confusion than text message or other low context means of communication that lack contractual clues. In everyday communication events, we often order people non-verbal clues as a form of perception checking. Now let's take the example of non-verbal communication. First, facial expression, smiling, raising eyebrow, rolling eyes, etc. These are the example of facial expression. Gestures, hand gestures, head nods, pointing, etc. These are the example of gestures. Next comes to postures. Standing tall, leaning forward or backward, cross arms. Next example is your eye contact. Further, what in eye contact? Avoiding eye contact, staring, glancing. Next example is touch, handshake, hugs, pats, etc. So these all are the example of non-verbal communication. Now, next comes to the verbal and informal communication. What is a formal communication and a informal communication. So, formal communication is a communication that is done by the organization in a structured form along the lines of authority. Such communication are in written or may take any form like rule book, policies, MOM, reports, and so on. So these all are the example of formal communication. This type of communication basically occurs in the organization level, where we have to talk with the higher authorities. Next comes to the informal communication. Informal communication arises those channels where the communication fall outside the formal channel. For example, when we are talking to our friend, that is a basic example of informal communication. Such communication is usually oral or may be covered even by simple glance like gestures, smile, and silence. Now let's take a difference between formal and informal communication. So formal communication is for the official channel, whereas informal communication is for the unofficial channels. It is goal oriented, whereas informal is individual goal and need oriented. For formal, it is impersonal, and for informal, it is personal and social. Slow and structured is a formal communication, whereas in informal, it is a fast and unstructured. In formal communication, it has a stability, whereas in informal communication, it has no stability. It is flexible. I hope all the topic have all the topic are clear to you, which I have discussed. Now next comes to the next topic, that is downwards communication. Communication is the first phrase flow downwards when the medium is usually in the form of instruction and direction order. These communication are done in the organization level, where we have to communicate with the higher authorities. So in downward communication means when manager is talking to the lower level person. That is the best example of downwards communication. Now, next comes to the upward communication. Upward communication basically means when we are talking to the upper hierarchy from the lower level. The function of upward communication is to send information, suggestions, complaints, grievances of the lower level workers to the manager level. For an example, if we take a upward example, like lower person or the labor wants to talk to the manager. So that is a upward communication because manager is the higher authority, whereas label is the lower person. Now, next comes to the horizontal communication. When we are talking between the same label or working under the same executives, the main use of this communication is to maintain coordination and assign to various subordinates. For example, when we are talking to our colleagues in the organization, because we both are from the same label. Now, next comes to the interpersonal communication. It is a communication exchange of information between two or more persons. When we have to talk to two or more persons. However, it is generally used to explain collaboration and group work. The benefit of interpersonal communication include the development of strong relationship, the ability to achieve more together than alone, improve understanding of or other people, point of view, and the ability to resolve the conflicts and disagreements. Interpersonal skills are highly valued in 21st century. These are skills like the ability to mediate, lead a group, follow when necessary. It helps to influence others and find a common ground. Let's take some example of interpersonal communication. First, casual conversation. Engaging in informal dialogues with friends, family, or colleagues to share experience through and emotion. Next is active listening. Empathy and understanding by attentively listening to another person, ideas, or concern, and provide appropriate responses or feedback. Next comes to conflict resolution. Addressing disagreements or misunderstanding between individuals by discussing the issues, identify solutions, and find common ground. Group discussion collaborates with multiple interviews to exchange ideas, solve problems, make decisions through one and respectful communication. So these all are the example of interpersonal communication. Next comes to the intrapersonal communication. So what does our intrapersonal communication means? Intrapersonal communication is a communication which are done by ourselves. We not to need talk to the other person. We have to talk to ourselves. That are intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication is a communication when we are talking with ourselves, either spoken, written, or through words. Interpersonal communication can be anything from solving a complex problem in your mind to thinking about what to wear today or what we have for breakfast. So these two are examples of intrapersonal. So for the intrapersonal communication, we are having different types like perception, self-awareness, expectation. So these are the types of intrapersonal. What is self-concept or self-awareness? Let's discuss that as well. This is the core foundation of interpersonal communication since it decides on how you see yourself in relation to other people. This aspect of intrapersonal communication consists of your beliefs, your values, and your attitude. Again, this is important for developing emotional intelligence, a crucial aspect of being a leader is a intrapersonal sound. Your attitude, a leader as explained, are normally connected to your core. These attitudes are based on your value. That is, values are in turn based on your core beliefs, which can personal perspective on what is right and wrong. Next comes to the prospection part. The word in journal is filtered by other self-concepts depending on your beliefs, values, and attitudes. You can prescribe the same thing differently than another person are with different beliefs, values, and attitudes. This happens all the time, does not it? We prescribe things in connection to framework of judging parameters, so to speak. Next example is your expectations. Expectation is an example of interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication, or the third type or the aspects of intrapersonal communication, is regarding expectation of the future. What you can expect of your own future and the future of others. Some people accept to have kids in the future. Some do not. Certain people accept to become something great. Others does not. These three aspects are used in your interpersonal communication as you reflect think, analyze, or clarify. If you ponder on something, you consequently or unconsequently judged it in the context of your self concept, your perception of the world, and the expectation you have. Makes sense, does not it? So these three aspects forms a framework to bounce you through as well as your own rule for how the thing is proceeds. Now, next comes to the mass communication. What is the mass communication? First discuss about the organizational communication. Then we can come to the mass communication. So, what is the organization communication? Organizational communication is a process in which activities of societies are collected and coordinated to reach the goal for both individual or the collective groups. It is a field of journal communication. It comprises in a workplace environment. Now, next is your mass communication. So, mass communication is a communication when we are delivering message to the larger scale. Mass communication refers to the communication at a social scale through facilitated by broadcast media such as radio, television, internet, and so on. It is a belief that the emergence of the first form of mass communication in the 1500s, the printing press, led to development of national cultural identities. Mass communication is beneficial for public health. It spread of culture values and the spread of important news and information. However, it had been widely criticized for being controlled and gatekept by culture entities. Let's take some example of mass communication. For an example, we have newspaper. For many centuries, daily and weekly news were the key way in which people received current affair information. Next example is books. Often under recognized, books are still one of the major form of mass communication. The Bible, for example, responsibilities for spread of worldwide. Let's take one more example. Does television or radio. Now, television was the first form of mass communication that has audio visual properties. Both visual and audio communication. It was also a big driver of sharing national identity because proper program tends to broadcast nationwide. It is the decline today by online video platform. Now, what are radios? Radios give people instant access to the audio information and entertainment. Its era, it was revolutionary. Radio primary limit is lack of visual communication because long television came along to resolve this problem. So these are all the examples of mass communication. So why mass communication has a strength? Providing urgent and emergencies news to the mass, which can save life during the time of natural disaster, facilitating a shared sense of identify across national group or with internet across internal subculture. Now next topic is SMRC model. What is a SMRC model means? What is the meaning of SMRC? So SMRC model basically means when we have it, this model is used to show the information. It is in the communication study. SMCRC means source, message, channel, receiver. This model was organized, developed by Shannon and Weaver. Let's discuss one by one why this model is useful. What is a source? What is a message? And so. So, what is a source? Source is basically the audience and the subject towards oneself for that is the student. The attitude is to learn more and for teacher want to help each. As we discussed, there are four people that is source, message, channel and receiver. It is a linear transmission model of communication. It also refers to as the sender, message, channel, receiver model. The Brouillon model, it was first published in 1960. The process of communication, it contains a detailed discussion of the four main components of communication. That is source, message, channel, receiver. Source and receiver are usually distinguished person but can also be grouped. In some cases, same entity act both as source and a receiver. So what is source? Source try to achieve this formulating a communication intended and encode it in the form of message. The message is sent to the receiver using a channel and has to be decoded so that it is understood and reach to it. The efficiency of finding communication is defined by disagree, to which the reaction of the receiver message. The purpose is to motivate the sources. Now let's discuss the name. What is the purpose of this model? It is based on the things that source are received have a common. He understand communication a very wide sense that includes non-verbal communication like your body language or the use of color in advertising basic verbal. In communication, spoken or written form, anything to which people attach meanings may be and is used in communication. Communication is a dynamic process, does not consist of fixed sequence of event with a clearly defined bringing, middle or end. Now, let's discuss one by one what are sources, what do you understand by source, what do you understand by message, communication skills, and so on. So, what is a source? The source is a situation where the message originates. It is the skills the individuals to communicate. For example, ability to read, write, and speak. This includes the attitude towards the audience, subject towards oneself. For an example, the student attitude is to learn more from the teacher. Communication also means that the person needs to be more knowledgeable about the subject or the topic. Next, we can communicate only to the extent that the social system allows. When we communicate, we take the social system into account. The social system includes the various aspects of society, beliefs, culture, general understanding, and so on. Let's take example of social system. Classroom different from country to country. Just like people behavior and how they communicate, etc. Now, next comes to the message part. The body message from beginning to the end comprises its content. For an example, whatever the class teacher teach in the class from beginning to end, it is the content of message. It includes various things like gestures, body language, postures, and so on. Any content is accomplished by some element. It refers to packing of the message, the way in which the message is delivered. When there is too much treatment, communication will not go smoothly. So, for that, message is the same. But if the structure is not properly arranged, then the receiver will not understand the message. So what is structured? What is the meaning of a structured message? The structure of the message refers to how it is arranged. The way people structured the message into various. We are also having code in the message. What is a code? The code of the message refers to the mean through which it is sent and in what form it could be. Let's take the example of like language, body language, gestures, music, etc. Every culture is a code. Through this, people give and receive messages and communication take place. Only when the code is clear, the message will be clear. The wrong usage may lead to misinterpretation. It refers to the five senses. Okay. Now, next comes to the channel part. What is a channel? So, channel refers to the five senses. First is your hearing, seeing, touching, smiling, and tasting. Let's discuss one by one what are these. Communication occurs through one or more channels. What is hearing? Hearing means the use of ear to receive the message. For an example, interpersonal communication. As we have already discussed, what is interpersonal communication? When we are talking from one person to the another. Now, next is seeing. Visual channels. For an example, your television convey the scene of the film. Next is touching. Touching is the sense by the use of channel to the communication. When we are hugging our loved one, when we buy new things. So these all are touching part. Next is the smelling. What is smelling? Smelling also can be channeled to a communication. For an example, perfume's fragrance or food taste. People can deduct which food is being cooked by its smell. Next comes to the tasting part. The tongue is the muscular organ used in the act of eat and taste. For an example, the communication can happen regarding its taste. Despite nothing mention a medium, we need to assume that as communication is taking place, channel can be any of five senses or combination. Next is your decoder. Who is the decoder? The person who receives the message and decode it. Last is your receiver. Receiver is basically a person who receives that message and gives a feedback to the other person. That is your source person. So this model believes that for effective communication to take place, the source and the receiver need to be on the same level. Only then communication will happen or take place properly. Hence, the source and the receiver should be similar. For an example, if the communication skills of the source is good, then the receiver should have equally good skills. It cannot be said that the receiver does not receive the whole message, because even though he may receive it but may not be able to interpret its meaning. For effective communication, the source and the receiver need to be on the same level. Self-image different from person to person. For communication, the person should consider the receiver, the speaker accordingly, and give them what they want. So there are various criticisms for the SMCRC model. Let's discuss it one by one. There is lack of feedback. The effects are particularly unknown. It does not mention the barriers of communication. Next, there is no room for noise. Next, it is rather complex model. Next, the main drawback of the model is that it helps the sixth sense as a channel of communication, which is an asset to the human being. That is thinking, understanding, analyzing, etc. It required people to be on the same level of effective communication to be happen. However, that rarely happen in everyday life. It is a linear model of communication. It is rather than a complex model. Now, let's discuss the advantages and the disadvantage of SMCR model. We have already discussed the source person, the 5 factors, the process and everything. Let's discuss what are the advantage. Why it is good for the communication. First is clarity and simplicity. Before going next model, let's discuss first what is the clarity and simplicity. The SMCRC model structure is easy to comprehend, making it a useful tool for introducing basic concept of communication to a student and individual who may be new to the field. Its simplicity allows for a clear and concise repetition of core element. Now, next advantage is foundational understanding. The model provides a foundational understanding of essential components of communication, that is source, message, channels, receiver. These understanding serves as a starting point for more in the depth discussion and analysis of common dynamic. Next advantage is teaching and learning. Teaching and learning. So what is teaching? The model is commonly used in educational settings to teach communication theories and principles. It provides a basic framework that students can build upon as they go deeper into various communication theories. Next advantage is your message design. The model highlights the importance of encoding and decoding message. This emphasizes on message design and interpretation encourage communicator to consider the clarity, relevance, and effectiveness of their messages. Next is your analyze tools. This model offers a structured framework for analyzing communication interaction. It helps to break down complex communication process into manageable communication. Next advantage is your selection, channel selection. By including the concept of channel, the model encourage communicator to think critically about how they choose to transmit message. This consideration of communication channel helps ensure that message reach the intended audience in most effective way. So these are the advantages of this model. Now, if a model has the advantage, so that model also have some disadvantage. So what are they? While the SMCRC model offered several advantages, it's important to recognize its limitation as well as it over-specify the complexities of real world communication, such as the role of feedback, culture influences, and the dynamic nature of interaction. As such, the model should be used in conjunction with other theories and framework to gain a more comprehensive understanding of communication dynamics. So let's discuss some disadvantage as well. First, lack of feedback. One of the major circumstance of the model is its limitation, consideration of feedback. In real life communication, feedback is crucial for addressing whether the message was understood as intended. So these advantage and disadvantage are not written over the PPT. Okay, so these are the extra part which I am covering. Next is your over specialization. The model over specialization the communication process by breaking it down into only for component source message. Real world communication involves a complex interplay of factors that include culture, emotion, and individual difference, which are not adequately addressed by the model. Now, next disadvantage is your linear nature. The model presents communication as a linear process from source to receiver. However, communication is often more dynamic and interactive, with message being exchanged back and forth between participants. The model does not capture the cyclical and nature of many communication. And the last disadvantage is your culture factor. The model does not spatially account for the significant influence of culture difference, the factor on communication. Message may be interpreted differently based on culture norms, values, and background, which can impact the effectiveness of the communication. Next comes to the passive receiver role. The model, the receiver as a passive receptionist who simply decodes the message. In reality, receiver actively interpretate and make sense of message based on their own expenses, beliefs, and perception. The model does not fully capture the dynamic nature of the process. So these are some of the disadvantage of the SMCRC model. So I hope this topic is clear to you, that what is a communication, what is business communication, what are the process of communication, advantage, disadvantage, and the SMCRC